Let me ask this question because, thank you to the chat for contributing into the show tonight. It seems to be that men are expecting for women to remain in a relationship or a marriage, regardless of what the circumstance is. According to RM, this gentleman, he says you can disagree, but he knows he's correct. Do you think,
For
do
oh
people
God.
think that men in the chat or men today in the culture are being unreasonable when it comes to women remaining in relationships that quote unquote no longer serve them or no longer serves the situation?
I
Like
do.
being unreasonable.
Do you think that guys are being unreasonable by saying that women, and this, like, for example, what he said, that women should have to stay or women should remain in the marriage despite what is happening from the guy or what the guy does in a relationship?
I
And
think
that's
being unreasonable. I talked to a guy recently who was saying that who was talking about how he cheated on his wife repeatedly, and now his wife has finally gotten to the point where she's like, "Okay, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I want a divorce." And he was just like, and so I asked him like, "What did you think was going to happen?" And he was just kind of like, "Well, nothing." Like he thought she was just going to take it forever, and he admitted that it was just being selfish, but he seriously in his mind thought she was just going to take it forever. So I don't know. I think that that's the norm more often than not. I think that that's the thought a lot of men have. The women are just going to take it.
because they get married for themselves. They not really getting married for that woman. They doing it for what she can offer and for themselves. And then some women wake up and they realize this is about him and only him. So they do what they do.
But
And
if
then it's like I think long lasting marriages have to be modeled. Divorces have been happening over the past few generations now. So what do women have to stay for if it's not being modeled from the women before them to stay? So they want wife slaves for sure. And I think some women do wake up to that. Not all men. I think some men are great husbands. But some men get married for their own selfish reasons and then it backfires. That chick wake up and she go.
but if
I
we're
think
talking about that men, let's just say men like Kevin Gates have options, and we've talked about this plenty of times on this panel, that they can go and do pretty much whatever they want, then wouldn't she already know that this comes with it?
not necessarily. And I think to Molly's
What was
point, I
the
think
first part of what you oh sorry. I was
men.
like, yeah, can you repeat that?
So we've talked about on this panel multiple times that men like Kevin Gates, they have
Oh.
multiple options and they get to exercise those options because they're rich or famous or visible and whatever else. So with that being said, wouldn't she know that by marrying this man, this is something that's going to be in their marriage? That he might step out a bunch of times, that he might,
Marry somebody else in
yeah,
public.
yeah, have a main one, all of that good stuff.
No, I think, and I think again, we're obviously speculating, but I think that that is probably how they got 9 years in, because there was clearly an understanding of this is not a traditional type of a situation here, but it did seem like they were at least on the same page.
I'm gonna go get some more drink before we continue this discussion.
I don't know if at this point they were on the same page, or if they just naturally started to just really be apart from each other. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they one day said we literally grew apart. Like I wasn't living where she was living. I was over here, she was over there. Like it just no longer made sense for us to be married anymore because we were not together like we once were. It just looked like they just totally were living separate lives. I think that's different than like I'm at home waiting for you to come home to me. You're out with another woman. You're cheating on me. I don't.
But even if he wasn't cheating, he would still be away because he's an entertainer. So they have to, if you're an entertainer or athlete, you tend to be away for a long time. So either, what I'm saying is, either way you put it, right? Whether he's still in entertainment and not cheating, or a rich entertainer that's exercising his options, either way, she knew that this was what it was going to be. So with that being said, it's kind of like, isn't isn't there a kind of break in the contract there?
Well, I think that's a loaded statement to some degree, possibly, to say that isn't this what she knew it was going to be? Because again, there's there might she might consider that to be a big difference. Us sleeping with a girl in our bedroom when we decide to do it versus you are publicly out here spiritually marrying somebody else. Like you're actually breaking the agreement. I didn't know that what I signed up for meant that you could be out here parading a whole nother woman around like that's your new wife. And we're saying spiritually married now because that's what's in this article. We didn't know if they were legally married, spiritually married when it happened. It was a lot of us were like, are you divorced to your first wife? Like, what's going on here? She could probably easily say, I didn't sign up for that. You didn't mention that. So you're breaking the contract. You're breaking our agreement.
He probably can't afford two wives. Boy, you can't afford this.
I don't know. He's got 2 phones.
One for the plug and one for the hose. You right? You right?
I don't even know. Is he still making music? I don't even
Yeah,
know.
he's still that's how he met Brittany on tour.
I don't.
I know that because Brittany said it, and then she showed the little video, so she had a little bit of proof. So all I'm saying is, it just seems I don't know if I would be so. I don't know. I don't know if I just would want somebody just to throw away 9 years of marriage. I don't know. That's just my thought.
And she might be ready for, who knows, like maybe she wants a man again. Like, she wants somebody to cuddle up with. And she might be like, look, I need to get you out the way so I can have the relationship I want to have. Like, it ain't it with whatever we're doing. You out there, I don't know what you're doing.
The delusion of women is crazy.
What's the delusion?
It's not delusion.
She gonna get a baby daddy that wants to be play stepdad to Kevin Gates' kids is crazy.
I don't think she would. I don't.
Well, Brittany Renner was a second wife, so wouldn't she be a stepmom to those kids? So why can't Drake find a stepfather?
Because women are dumb.
If
Brittany
we
Renner's
bringing in
dumb.
step
Men aren't.
parents, we should just be able to bring
Men
in
aren't.
step parents, no matter the gender.
Brittany Renner's an idiot. The man taking on the Kims would not be. You can't compare men and women, but nice try.
I
I'm just saying,
really,
we're bringing in step parents.
I
What
don't think
would
that they would. Again, speculation, but it appears as if they have a pretty like loving, healthy parental situation happening. Like I would be surprised if this is like I'm gonna bring a man in to father your kids, and I doubt very seriously that that would be the case anyway. Like I would be willing to bet that because of how we're hearing about it, it probably sounds more dramatic and worse than it probably is between the two of them.
yeah.
And neither one of them really care, based off of what they have said, what the public thinks about their life and their lifestyle anyway. So
Relationships run their course.
Slimmy, thoughts?
Uh,
I don't really change my stance. I think Kevin Gates is a strange dude. So it's in a strange situation. Like, it's just weird, man. Like the thing, like when the Brittany Renner shit took place, I thought he was separated from this woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. It's weird. As far as like the man thing, shit, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that. But Kevin Gates, he's just a strange dude, man.
Slammy, do
I'm
you
not.
think it's unreasonable for her to say that she wants a divorce?
No, not after all this stuff that I heard. Like him say out his own mouth. No, no, no. I mean, it just makes sense. If she's a sensible woman, over time, I would assume that thing. Not even I will assume. We know shit wears on people over time. It's certain things just keep building up, building up, building up. Then you want to bring a whole nother woman public and and it's like this big old thing. It's not shocking that I don't even think it hasn't been 3 months, 2 months since that took place. I don't even think it's been 2 months. So it's not shocking that she just like, all right, enough is enough. Like you didn't embarrass me. I'm out. I don't know if that's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was just the last straw. I wouldn't be surprised because, like, I mean, even if I was a dude that was allowed to bring in multiple women, have multiple women, I wouldn't go out publicly and then just be like, "Oh yeah, this is my new wife." I wouldn't do that because everything I'm gonna do is nobody else has to know, and I definitely wouldn't be showing her off at no NBA games without my wife. So all of that probably just was like mud in her face and piling on, and she just got fed up. That's the only thing I could assume. She just got fed up. Enough is enough. The divorce, it is possibly warranted.
Can I ask the question? When do men think that it's warranted for a woman to file for divorce?
Hitting and cheating.
Slammy?
I just said that was warranted. I just said that with old girl, this is warranted. Like with the Kevin Gates shit, yeah. But definitely under the domestic, get the fuck out of there. Like you, if he do that before you marry and you marry him, you are insane. It's something you don't got them all. Like if you marry a man that'll put his hands on you, you don't have them all. Like you want that kind of treatment. I'm sorry, because that ain't no way to live. That is not a way to live. And you gonna walk into a marriage like that? That you want trouble. You don't want to live happily ever after. That ain't what's gonna happen. Period. Yeah, domestic violence, anything domestic, you get the fuck out of there immediately. Immediately. And I would say you probably should call your family and they should probably take a visit. They should probably take a visit to go holler at homeboy. I'm being real about that shit.
Yeah,
You said hitting and what?
family.
Domestic
Cheating.
violence. Oh, my bad.
You
talking
said
about-
hitting and cheating?
Infidelity, yes.
Okay, got you. Mika, are you satisfied with those answers?
Um, your thoughts?
You said what now?
Your thoughts?
I don't have an opinion on this.
Oh,
Mika, what is the problem? What is the issue here?
Oh.
Mika, what is the issue here?
What's going on? Why you ain't participating?
I am participating. I'm hosting.
Bro, come on, man.
You're
No,
not
what's going
alligator.
on, my nigga? What's going on here?
No. Seriously, I want to make sure that everybody has space to be able to get their thoughts off. I've done some self-reflection and I've realized that when I talk, sometimes I can dominate the conversation. So I want to extend the grace to allow for other people to get their thoughts off.
Well, everybody done talked about it. You ain't saying shit.
Right. Who emailed you?
I'm just chilling. I mean, honestly, I don't care about Kevin Gates, to be honest with you. He's not a thing to me. I think that he's incredibly disrespectful towards LeBron James, his wife, and stuff like that. And so I don't have any regard for Kevin Gates. I don't have any thoughts about him.
What about what Mika said? though?
Kevin Gates is too weird to put him into a box. Honestly, I'm being 100% honest.
I agree with that.
His whole spiel, life, it's weird. So I don't think it's hard because you can't put any structure around him. So it's hard for me to have an opinion about what he should, what should or shouldn't happen.
Right. But my question was men in general.
What
I didn't-
about
I
him?
didn't-
When do you guys think that women should divorce? If they should divorce at all?
Slimmy? You
I already answered. No, that we. She's asking you.
Already answered
Me and
that
Quinn.
question.
Me and Quinn answered. She's asking you. I was curious as to what
Well,
you
she
thought
did say
myself.
you guys again.
Oh, she did. Oh, okay.
She didn't say
Yeah,
Anton.
she
she
said
said
you
you
guys.
guys.
So
She said
Anton
you
Daniels,
guys.
Like, just in case there's more than one Anton here, Anton Daniels.
Why Mika putting pressure on me? I don't understand.
She wants your engagement.
no.
I don't know. I think it's all circumstantial, honestly. I think every situation is different. I don't think that there's a blanket one size fits all. Um, if a dude is stepping out on a chick and that's not something that you know what I'm saying that they talked about, and I don't see anything wrong with her saying that you know, what, I don't want to be involved in this. But let me give you some additional context because it can become dangerous. You could bring home another disease. You could, you know, we're not talking about just a straight cut, yo, you know, nothing is going to happen just because he stepped out. It could be reckless. It could be crazy. It could be a situation that go left. There's a lot of things that can go into that. And when you start endangering other people, when you start to possibly bring home a disease or something like that, if that is not something that you can control as far as the agreement within your household for you to be able to do whatever it is that you do, then I think that that warrants a situation where a woman could be justified in saying, I don't want to put myself at risk in this situation, right? If I think that Q Diddy and Slammy said it, if you beating on somebody's ass, that's a safety issue.
Yeah, you got to get out
You
of
know what
there.
I'm saying? So, you know, I think that we need to have balance. And the problem with a lot of people is that they don't have balance. People take things that are communicated on the internet as that's it, without any context, without any kind of balance, without any kind of temperance. And everybody shouldn't just stay for the sake of the fucking family. That doesn't give you, listen, that doesn't give you a green light to go and do anything you want to do just because you're supposed to stay for family. Like we gotta have a balance to say, okay, well, what are your responsibilities as the man, and what are your responsibilities as a woman? And if you guys can't be aligned, then that means that we got to have a bigger discussion here. And that don't necessarily mean that you got to break up. But at the same time, that's not a free pass for you to just go and do whatever the fuck you want to do when you want to do it. And so I think that that's the part that we're missing in these conversations, and that people don't want to be accountable for their actions, but then they always want to point the finger and say, well, but you broke up the family. Sometimes, most of the times, I think that there are situations where you can justify, yeah, she just was getting bored. Yeah, she was just uncomfortable. Yeah, she feeling some type of way. She was looking for any way out. But there are some other situations that we tend to not have a conversation about. And if you out here fucking around with Brittany Renner, what the fuck are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like you parading around Brittany Renner, and she a baby mama to an NBA nigga.
Shut up,
You know what
Brittany
I'm saying?
Renner.
So it could get a little unreasonable. Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know? So, you know, and then we say 9 years. Shit, you a whole nother person after 9 years. You know, like people's expectations change, people change. You know, when they probably first got married, they didn't have kids. They probably got kids now. So she can't travel with him on the road because she got to stay home with the kids now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's circumstantial. I think that every situation is different. And I think that every, circumstance is different. Are the kids grown or are the kids
Okay,
not grown?
so
Do y'all have kids or do y'all not have kids? If y'all don't have kids and you don't feel like you're safe in this situation, and I don't think it's really no harm, no foul. Go and do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
If y'all do
those
have
two
kids, it makes it
reasons.
a lot more complicated. How many kids do y'all have? Right. And so I don't think it's a one size fits all. I think that every situation need to be evaluated individually based off of what's happening. If y'all have kids, I am absolutely 100% like, yo, you need to do everything you can to keep the family together. But there is a level of responsibility that also extends to the man to make sure that he's a reflection of what he wants his kids to grow up like and to follow. Right. And so if that's not a discussion that you're willing to have of what that looks like, and nigga, you just running around doing whatever the fuck you want to do and don't nobody know about it, you know what I'm saying? And that's a bigger discussion. So you gotta be man enough to be able to say, yo, this is how I see things. We evolving, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just go and take a industry chick that wrote books about niggas and then be at the sideline with her. That talking about this is my wife. The fuck? Like that's a lot. That's why I said this nigga's weird. He
I
weird as
didn't
fuck.
don't judge me, but I didn't know who Kevin Gates was until he popped out with Brittany Renner, and I had to Google.
So it's weird. It's a weird situation, And I don't think that what I'm saying is unreasonable.
Well, those two reasons I gave was for kids only. I think if you ain't got no kids, you can just peace out. Any reason, I'm out.
I guess a bigger question would be, why are you getting married if you don't plan on having kids together?
Facts.
That would be a bigger question that we ask ourselves. Because I would think that maybe the answer would be just because you don't want nobody else to have her.
Is that not good enough of a reason?
Any reason is a good reason to get married. I just don't think that people think that through enough before they decide that they want to get married. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think most people think anything through other than I like being around this person. I think that's why most of the marriages fail because they're not really talking. And then they say, "Oh, well this person started doing this," but nobody wants to be the bad guy in the beginning of a relationship and ask the pertinent questions.
Well, I think people are optimists when it comes to marriage. So when they say better or worse, they don't really think that worse is coming. Like the whole thing is just supposed to be the better part. And I think when worse comes, it just kind of slaps people in the face and they just don't know how to cope because it was never a thought that it was a possibility.
I always tell people, believe it or not, a lot of people ask me my advice on relationships and marriage before they get married. And I always say this: look at Slammy's picture. Slammy is not there right now. This is the real Slammy.
How does it
Oh,
do that?
sleep.
I just want to
How
make
does
sure
it
y'all
do
know
that?
what's going on. I always tell people to I tell people to look at what you think the worst situation would look like. Like, what's the worst that you'd be willing to endure through in a relationship? And that's what you should set your expectations on, as far as how you would have to, go through stuff. Because a marriage and a relationship is going to be ups and downs. It's going to be some losses. It's going to be some wins. You're going to not have money, have a whole lot of money, whatever, right? What is the worst that you willing to endure through and deal with for how long? And then once you evaluate that, because most people get married because they're in love or they're in a great situation or they're happy with the person or we're both on the same page. And very rarely are people really having conversations about what they're willing to endure through when it gets tough. That's a conversation that's never happening because people only want to think good thoughts and all of that stuff. And so when you think about what are you willing to deal with and how much are you willing to deal with for how long, that is a better question. And I think makes people very uncomfortable when you ask them that as a group or individually and then tell them to come together and discuss it. If you're able to have that conversation, if you're able to navigate through those dynamics and still come out and say, man, I just can't be without this person. I'm willing to deal with this for as long as I need to or for this amount of time, and y'all can come together on that, then I think that y'all will be successfully married. Because the highs will be really high and the lows will be okay. It's almost like under promise and over deliver. Everything will be like the cherry on top after that. Because you're going to have some phenomenal times. You know what I'm saying? But the down times or the things that y'all have to go through, they won't seem like down times because you've already set the expectations of what you're looking to get to and where it is that you're willing to endure through. And if people can figure that out, then they'll be good.
Right.
But a lot of people wake up and they be like, "Oh, I'm blindsided. I didn't know."
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, man. Anything else? Any other thoughts on this before we move on to the next subject and read super chats? See, I'm not engaged. I just wanted to make sure everybody can get their thoughts off.
Slimmy, why are you making that face?
You'll see.
What did you say, Anton?
Mika's bullying me.
No, not even a little bit.
Not yet.
Somebody else said that in the chat. What's the yet?
All right. Slimmy is over here trying to figure it out. Here, I'm going to put you up here. You know what? Let me pair people together. Quentin is obsessed with Carrie. Slimmy and
I just like being by super sweet women.
Kimmy and Slimmy. They rhyme and they always have a little bit of a kerfuffle. Mika bullies
The real chocolate, not the fake.
Mika bullies Anton. But
Let me turn my light off and we're gonna see.
But Anton is obsessed with Molly. So
I'll turn the light off.
According to the chat.
Now you just
I think we got it all together now. We all grouped together.
You just shadowed out.
Quinn says Carrie is beautiful. Kim and I and Slim and I is always trying to figure it out.
Where that last part come from?
Slim and I, Slim and I.
I have a feeling that's never gonna die. Thanks, Anton.
Yeah, that.
Y'all should do a podcast together, Kimmy and Slimmy.
that would be War of the Worlds.
It would not.
War of the Worlds.
We could talk about all the conspiracy theories.
They're not conspiracy theories. See, we can't even.
I already don't agree.
Okay.
We can't even agree on that.
That's what they're called. God, here we go. We can't even agree on what color I am, so we ain't gonna be able to agree on nothing else.
You are mocha.
Made in the what?
You all in my business. Made in the chocolate factory.
No, the 80s.
I know what you're talking about. Made in the chocolate factory.
You heard Slimmy?
I don't understand the cap and this infatuation with being chocolate. You're not chocolate.
Yes, I am.
You have nice skin. You have nice skin. very
That
well melanated,
I see
beautiful
that
skin.
every day. I promise you, I assure you.
Do you see what your shirt is? Your shirt is chocolate. Do you see how many shades above that shirt you are?